Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. In this one, we're gonna take a bit of a deep dive into the past and look at one of my old animated short films. And I will kind of comment on it and break it down a bit, see how it was made, and give my critique a bit on it. And hopefully you find something interesting in that. I think one of the best ways, or probably the only way to see progress in our work is to look at our old stuff, like our old work. And one of the good things about having posted things online, like on YouTube or Instagram, is that you can quite easily backtrack your old work and see the progress you've been doing. So it's quite an easy way to actually kind of scroll back in time. And this video, or this film, I made back in 2013, I think. And it was during the time when Vimeo was kind of a big platform, and I'm not really sure what happened to Vimeo and who's using that now, but I guess YouTube won in the end. But yeah, it was on Vimeo. It's still on Vimeo, so if you want to watch it in a separate light, not in this video, then you can do that. But we're gonna watch the whole thing here, so don't leave for that. I will link it in the description anyway. But yeah, we're gonna watch the whole thing. It's only 2 minutes long, so I hope to see you after the video. Don't leave. Alright, it's been a while since I watched this film fully. The sound design and the music was done by my friend Luke Durzak, so thank you, Luke, for helping me out with that back in 2013. And I think it really elevates the film and kind of distracts a bit from my somewhat dodgy drawings. But let's start at the beginning now and let's kind of go through shot by shot. Let's skip the title screen. Alright, this shot here. I think I just started to learn a bit of 3D here. For years I had sort of avoided 3D, you know, it was kind of scary to me at the time, like unknown waters I did not want to tread. But I just started to learn a bit of Cinema 4D here, and before I did sort of my best to fake any form of 3 dimensions in like After Effects or so by just shifting perspectives or, you know, trying to warp things to look 3D. But we had just gotten in some Cinema 4D licenses at work, I think, and it was also my good friend Ryan had just started working at the company that I was working at, and he knew all this like 3D wizardry stuff that I didn't know about, so I just had to kind of up my game to not fall behind. So it was pure survival. That's why I needed to learn 3D basically. So the rock pillar that sticks up through the clouds here is 3D, and the clouds around it are actually still made in After Effects using particulars. So they're just like a sprite picture that I've spread across this particle field. So that's sort of 2.5D there. And that created this effect. I think maybe the background clouds could have had a bit more clarity to sort of blend in better with the foreground here. And the rock itself sort of feels a bit smooth and low on detail. But I think this shot still sort of holds up all right. This trail of clouds is also made using particular, so basically the same asset there, just as the surrounding clouds. All right, let's move on. This shot, okay, before we mention my character design, I would say that this was actually the first shot I made for this film, before I'd even have any sort of concept of what this was going to be about. I started as a sort of test and just made the full film out of this shot, so I had no vision of what was going to happen. I just kind of made things out of this one. Anyways, I don't really know what's up with the character design here. He's sort of dressed like a Dragon Ball Z character or something. I'm not sure what the reference was for this. Probably didn't have a reference. I just probably had a vague remembrance of a childhood of reading Dragon Ball Z. It's not very pretty, that's for sure. And some of these frames here, look at that, his head is sort of falling off here. I think straight away my harsh critique for my past self would be that the character design of this film was sort of a flop. But yeah, we can move on from there. We got a bit of a perspective change going on here and some sort of animation to the grass, which I think adds a slightly nice touch. The stones here are a bit random how they are placed out though, but yeah. Moving on, I guess I didn't fancy animating the grass again for this scene. It was just static here. Anatomy-wise, this guy is sort of all over the place. That's an impressive posture he got right there. All right, we got some fast action going on here. We go into one of these sort of anime-style backgrounds with speed lines. I did my best to try to create sort of an orbit around him as the camera goes down. I guess that works. It's kind of an ambitious thing to do when you're not that confident in animation. I probably still wouldn't be too confident doing that, to be honest. This shot is still quite fun, I think. Probably one of the cleaner shots of this film. I played around with the fact that particular could react to lights here, so I ran like a few After Effects lights over this sort of sea of sprite clouds here. And then I combined that with some 2D hand-drawn effects on top to create this sort of transition from day to night. So I like this shot. I would say well done, Old, or past Olaf. Well done. Okay, I think this one is like a Google image, the moon here that I've just painted over. So I should have painted my own moon, not just pick a photo of Google. Jesus. Ooh, I think this is my least favorite shot of the film. It's really flat profile. Drawing wise, it's quite ugly. Like there's at least some animation going on in his hair, but it feels super static. And all those like loose lines just spread across his face here. I don't know. There's no like reason for them to be there. It's just let's quickly move on to the next one. Again, drawing wise, I think this is a bit sloppy. Like why would I have colored this frame? Did I not see how wonky this looks? It's not that many frames in that sequence either. I guess I was just a bit lazy. I kind of wanted to get through it. I think also I kind of just animated in like one pass, so I didn't like refine it after. I just drew the first frames and then it's like, okay, that's what it looks like now, so let's go for that. At least we get the idea of sort of what's happening here. He runs out of frame. This shot is actually quite fun, I think. It's a bit strange how far away the ledge actually seemed to become here. I thought this rock was quite a small thing. But yeah, it's a way of sort of showing fast motion with this sort of rolling foreground thing here. I think I'd seen this in some other animation. I just wanted to sort of squeeze it into my own film. So yeah, I took the liberty of adding that in here. So these following shots, I think they actually work quite well. Like this shot here has quite a fun camera angle to it. And I made my character sort of fall past the camera, which isn't that easy to make either. I think it sort of works all right. I'm using my newly acquired 3D skills here to create some perspective and fun camera work. Again, one of these cloud shots. We get a lot of sense of scale with these, which I actually quite like. This shot is probably a bit too dark. can't really see what's going on. Yeah, we're supposed to sort of go through the clouds. I think it could be a bit more clear of what's going on. Oh yeah, this was like using Hot 4D, a plugin for Cinema 4D, to create some waves. I experimented with some like sort of cell shading to get the water to look like this, and I think that the water splash was done in particular, which I'm not sure if it really works here. I think it sort of looks a bit odd. I would have just gone for a more traditional splash now, like make some hand-drawn thing rather than trying to, like, it's not a simulation either. It's just like a weird particle effect. So I don't know. I think it could be better, but it works. Again, me trying some ambitious camera moves underwater, tumbling of my character here. Not really sure what to say. Yeah. I think this transition between these two shots are actually a bit lazy. Like, I would maybe have needed a shot showing him sort of coming to a stop. Now I just went for the fade out and fade in, which is sort of saving my ass here. Some distortions going on top of my character here to get a feel of that he's sort of underwater. There's a lot of particular going on in this film, and this, I think the aesthetic of these particles are maybe not also matching so well with the rest of the film. Could maybe have been simplified a bit into more 2D hand-drawn things, like a bit fewer and maybe, I don't know, yeah, just a bit different. Sort of Andrew Kramer lens flare on top of everything as well. Yeah, my garden gnome here releases his seed into the sea. The final sequence is actually one of my favorite shots, I think, of this film. I think that works really well, and I really like the sound design Luke did here, like really cool. Like when the bolt sort of explodes in the sky and then all the stars come out. And it's a cool like perspective change from going from the splash of water here up into the sky. So I like that one. All right, and this is where this film ends. I sort of started out not knowing where to take this film in terms of story or so on, but I kind of shaped it into something. So the overall story, I guess, is that this little guy is turning day into night, and maybe we can assume that he's doing the opposite, night into day, or I mean, maybe not. We actually never see that in the film, so it's not really clear who's taking care of that. So overall, I think this film edits quite well. I think the character design obviously could need a lot of work. It's quite cringy to watch back, but you know, that's how it's supposed to be. You shouldn't watch your old stuff and go like, oh my god, how did I do that? I wish I knew. That's not a good sign, I think. You wanna look back and be a little bit ashamed, or at least a little bit like critiquing. This is 7 to 8 years ago since I made this, so yeah, I should definitely have improved. I certainly hope so. Hope you enjoyed this video. It was fun to look back on some old work and sort of give it a bit of a critique session here. If you have any critique on past Olaf's work, feel free to drop it in the comments, or if you have any other, maybe some kind things to say, you know, be kind to past me. He worked hard on this, so yeah. But yeah, otherwise feel free to subscribe to the channel and join me on Patreon if you want to support the channel and see more videos. I post there quite regularly. And yeah, like the video, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.